It all began when Ray J suddenly broke his silence and made a statement that nobody saw coming. For years, his name had been tied to Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner through old controversies, but this time his words carried a much heavier weight. He wasn't talking about gossip, scandals, or the usual celebrity drama. He was sending out a direct warning that shocked both fans and media alike. Ray J hinted that something much bigger was at play, something that could bring legal trouble and damage powerful reputations. His message was clear: the truth could no longer stay hidden. People online instantly felt the seriousness of his tone, and whispers of an alleged RICO case began spreading everywhere. Within hours, social media was filled with discussions, questions, and heated debates, as everyone tried to understand why Ray J would come forward at this time, and what exactly he was warning Kim and Kris about. To understand why Ray J's warning created such a storm, it's important to look back at the long and complicated history he shares with Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner. Years ago, Ray J and Kim were involved in a relationship that ended up changing the entire direction of Kim's life and career. What started as a personal connection between two people quickly turned into a worldwide scandal, one that many believe became the foundation of the Kardashian empire. At the time, Kris Jenner's influence was already growing, and many have accused her of being the mastermind who turned controversy into opportunity. Over the years, Ray J repeatedly hinted that the truth behind what happened back then was never fully told, and that powerful people worked hard to protect their image while leaving him to face the blame. These past incidents never truly faded. They remained attached to his name, resurfacing again and again whenever the Kardashians gained attention. For Ray J, the story has always been about more than just old drama. It has been about manipulation, broken trust, and the feeling that an entire system was built on a lie. This painful history set the stage for his recent warning, making it clear that the wounds of the past were never fully healed. When Ray J spoke about his warning, he didn't just stop at old memories or personal grudges. He went deeper, pointing towards something much more serious, a possible RICO connection. For many, the term sounded unfamiliar, but in simple words, RICO refers to organized wrongdoing, a system where people work together to commit fraud, manipulation, or other crimes repeatedly. Ray J suggested that what happened in the past with Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner wasn't just a random mistake or a personal issue, but rather part of a much bigger plan. He hinted that there were patterns of behavior, schemes designed to profit, control narratives, and protect certain images at any cost. According to his claims, this wasn't just about one scandal, but about a carefully crafted system that benefited some while leaving others destroyed. Hearing such a strong allegation from Ray J sent shockwaves through the public. If there was even a hint of truth in his words, it meant that the glamour of the Kardashian empire could be hiding a much darker foundation. His mention of the alleged RICO angle turned the entire conversation from gossip to something that sounded dangerously close to a legal crisis. Ray J's statement took an unexpected turn when he began pointing towards something far more serious than old controversies. He spoke about an alleged RICO case, a phrase that instantly caught attention because of its heavy legal meaning. RICO, which stands for the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, is usually linked to organized crime, where individuals or groups are accused of building a system that repeatedly commits fraud, deception, or manipulation for financial or personal gain. For Ray J to even mention this in connection with Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner shocked everyone. It wasn't just about one tape, one scandal, or one bad decision anymore. He was suggesting a long-term pattern, a structure that went beyond what people had always believed. According to Ray J's hints, the problem wasn't just about him being wronged in the past. It was about how power and influence were used to protect certain people while others were left exposed. He described situations where decisions seemed too perfectly planned, where controversies turned into multi-million-dollar opportunities overnight, and where silence was bought or forced whenever things got too close to the truth. In his view, this wasn't coincidence, it was design. The public began connecting dots in their own minds. They remembered how certain scandals had strangely benefited the Kardashian brand, how controversies never seemed to harm them, but instead pushed them further into fame and fortune. Ray J's words gave new meaning to those memories. Could it all have been part of something bigger? Could the empire that looked glamorous on the outside actually be built on manipulation, contracts, and secret deals that no one dared to question? By framing it as an alleged RICO angle, Ray J changed the conversation entirely. This was no longer just celebrity drama. It was a story that sounded like a possible legal battle, one where the truth could shake the foundation of one of the most powerful families in entertainment. His warning suggested that if the layers were peeled back, there might be evidence of patterns that the world was never meant to see. When Ray J finally delivered his warning, his words carried the kind of weight that could not be ignored. He wasn't speaking like a man chasing headlines or looking for cheap attention. His tone was firm, serious, and filled with frustration built over years of silence. He addressed Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner directly, making it clear that he believed the truth had been buried for far too long. According to him, the games, the manipulation, and the carefully crafted image could no longer protect them. "It's only a matter of time before everything comes out," he said, hinting that the secrets they thought were locked away would eventually reach the public eye. Ray J didn't stop at vague claims. He went further, suggesting that he had seen and experienced things that could change the way people viewed the Kardashian empire forever. His warning sounded almost like a final message, an opportunity for Kim and Kris to come clean before others exposed the truth. He emphasized that people could play with media, they could twist narratives, and they could silence voices, but they could not outrun reality forever. What struck people the most was the way Ray J spoke about being used and betrayed. He described himself as someone who had carried the weight of lies and blame while others built their empire on his back. His direct warning was not only about the past, but also about the future. He suggested that if certain doors were opened, legal authorities might begin asking questions, and once that happened, even the most powerful names wouldn't be able to control the outcome. His final words left the audience unsettled. He wasn't shouting, he wasn't laughing. He was calm, almost too calm, as if he knew something much bigger was on the way. The message was simple but chilling. The truth is coming, whether Kim and Kris are ready or not. Ray J's warning landed like a thunderbolt in the world of Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner. For two women who had spent decades carefully building their image and protecting their brand, this kind of public challenge was dangerous. Behind the polished smiles and confident appearances, there was an undeniable tension. Kim, who had always managed to turn scandals into opportunities, now faced a situation that was very different. This wasn't about fashion, reality shows, or even personal drama. It was about the possibility of legal trouble, the kind that could stain her reputation permanently. For someone whose career depended heavily on public approval, even the hint of a RICO connection was enough to raise fear. Kris Jenner, known as the mastermind and momager who controlled every move of the Kardashian empire, was also at the center of Ray J's claims. For years, she had been accused of pulling strings behind the scenes, turning controversies into multi-million-dollar deals. But this time, the accusations were heavier than ever. The idea that she could be linked to something resembling organized schemes shook the very foundation of the powerful image she had created. If the public began to believe Ray J's words, it wouldn't just damage her personally. It could destroy the Kardashian brand, the businesses, and everything they had built together. Speculation started spreading quickly. Could Kim and Kris face legal questioning? Would lawyers step in if Ray J revealed more evidence? Even though nothing was proven yet, the fear of what could happen was enough to put enormous pressure on them. Insiders whispered that the family was scrambling behind closed doors, trying to assess the damage and prepare for the possibility of further revelations. For Kim and Kris, the impact wasn't just about reputation. It was about survival in a world where image meant everything. And with Ray J's warning still echoing, the possibility of their empire cracking under the weight of scandal became very real. As Ray J's words spread across social media, the public quickly split into two clear sides. On one side were those who believed him without hesitation. These people argued that Ray J had no reason to come forward after so many years unless he was truly carrying something heavy on his chest. They pointed to his calm, serious tone and the consistency of his past statements as proof that he wasn't inventing stories, but finally shedding light on what had been hidden for years. For them, Ray J's warning wasn't just about personal revenge. It was about justice and exposing the truth, no matter